Good morning, everyone. Um, Welcome to Lady Fayalte's Light Healing. My name is Julie. I am the owner and co-founder of Lady Fayalte Healing, and just wanted to start in my videos doing this little introduction, which I haven't done in the past, just because now that it is up on YouTube, somebody may be watching this video that hasn't seen the other videos or been in the group and might not know who I am. So I'm going to try to remember to do that at the beginning of the videos. I'm going to just pop in here real quick and invite some people. I hope everybody had a really good weekend. I tried to get some rest. Still been like really super busy here with work, working overtime, and then trying to fit in baseball games and my classes, and so it's just been really hectic, and I've been super tired. And so on the weekends I've been trying to take it easy and rest, but yesterday I worked 9.5 hours and then went right from work to a committee meeting that I'm on that went till 8:30 last night. So I literally got home last night at 9 o'clock and wolfed down a piece of pizza and then sat down to get ready for live with you guys this morning. And then unfortunately I was up feeling quite nauseous most of the night because I wolfed down a piece of pizza at 9 o'clock at night. So needless to say, I'm pretty exhausted this morning, and it's only friggin' Tuesday. And I have 3 or 4 classes this week. I have a baseball game, couple baseball games this weekend. I have a baseball game tomorrow. Yeah, it's crazy busy, but that's okay. I just keep telling myself I'll get through this month and it'll be better because baseball will be done, but then summer will be here and we'll still be busy with vacation stuff. But I'm okay with being a little hectic to get ready for vacation. So we usually like to go to Bike Week in Laconia, so I will be getting ready to do that soon. Almost done here inviting everybody. I love that the group is getting bigger, but it's adding on to taking time to do this. There we go, got everybody. So, again, my name is Julie, and you are watching a video from my Facebook group, which is Lady Fayalte Light Healing, which is also the name of the YouTube channel. So if you're watching it on there, if you're watching on Facebook, you're more than welcome to subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you're watching on YouTube, you're more than welcome to join my group. Whatever makes you happy. I decided to do the YouTube group just because when I had new members joining or people that were asking about particular things for watching for a video, Facebook makes it very hard to find the videos, because if you go to the video section at the top, like where your events and everything is, it'll show you all the videos, but it doesn't show you the description that I add, like the title that I add. So then you're just looking at like 60 screenshots of me. And so it's kind of hard to know which video to go to unless you go into the group and actually scroll through everything, which is kind of a big pain in the butt. So that's when I finally decided that I was going to do the YouTube channel, where they are labeled, titled, and there's a description in there. And so if there's somebody was asking about like the Beltane one, it would be very easy for them to go to YouTube, go to my channel and look, and they're all titled what they are. So it was much easier for people if they were looking for a particular video to find it that way. So that is why I finally decided to do the YouTube channel. I'm not trying to be famous, but hey, if it happens, I'll take it, right? I had a couple of things I wanted to show you real quick, but let's, before we start that, I think my sage bundle is just about at the ends of its legs here. We've got pretty much down to the stems here, but that's okay. So we're gonna just smudge a little. I'm gonna light my candle. Maybe light my candle. There we go. Alright, so we got the smudge going in the candle. Just gonna smudge my hands real quick. I usually like to smudge my hands. We touch a lot of things, people and items that people have touched and all that stuff. So, alright, so we did that. And then we are going to pull a new gemstone card. These are up on the website for sale. I believe there's still some in stock. So this is the Gemstone Oracle deck. The one we pulled last Tuesday was Carnelian, and I just happen to have one here because I was working with it for our manifestation and for Beltane. So there's one right there. So I'm going to put this one back in the deck. So this card pull is not for anybody particular, but if it resonates with you, that's great, because I often feel like it's the card that we pull is meant for somebody. All right, so we have pulled Black Kyanite, and I do have a piece around here somewhere, I think. This is my little crafting. I have stones that I'm gonna craft with. That is Black Kyanite. It's very sparkly. And it has like lots of little pieces. It's like all these little crystals that make this like spearheaded looking crystal. Alright, so that is Black Kyanite. Let me read you the card for it. Put these ones back. I'm telling you, on top of being busy and tired, I forgot to refill my allergy medication. So, and it's like spring, so like the worst time to not have your allergy medication. Just gonna take a picture real quick so we can get that up on the group for you. So if you want to learn more about it. All right, so Black Kyanite. And so Black Kyanite is the only stone that clears energies but does not need to be cleared. It offers protection, healing, and transmutation of low vibrations. You have pulled this card because you need to protect yourself of clear stuck energies around you. Meditate with Black Kyanite to surround yourself with pure white light, to call in your guides for protection, and to stay true to the path your soul's deepest calling. So that is Black Kyanite, and like I said, I did take a picture, and we'll get that. I'll get that up on the group for you. We're going to talk about a little bit of moon magic here, but I just wanted to show you again. Did a little crafting this weekend, and so made a candle. So this is what it looks like. This was the piece I used for my Ostera altar candle, and when we made the candle, I thought, well, I'm going to use that same one. You can't see it, but there are little clear crystal points radiating all the way around. So, and then I glued all the stuff on, And before I did that, we anointed the candle with an anointing perfume. So it's just a mix of different oils in there. But I wanted to show you that we made. That is a kit that is up on the website as well if you're interested. I don't think I paid much for it. $14, $15 maybe, because I think it was like $20 and then whatever the coupon code was for the day I used. And I have a couple of stones here I wanted to go over, but I'll just go over this one for today. So this one is honey calcite. So this one's kind of important to me. My aunt passed away a few weeks ago, and she was very wise woman, but she was very much about saving the bees. And so after she passed, I bought this honey calcite, and it's the stone of healing the mother wound. Honey calcite brings nurturing sweetness to your life and helps you see the world optimistically. But another reason that I really liked buying this stone was because part of the proceeds for this stone went to an organization for helping to save the bees. So it's very pretty. It's kind of got like a waxy texture, which a lot of calcites do. But I have to be very careful with it because it's little pieces of it are flaking off already. So, but yeah, that was for my Aunt Wendy. Sorry. I sat down and it was chilly, so I put the fireplace on, and now sitting here, it's getting warm. And it's easier to take the sweater off than it is to get up and turn off the fireplace. All right. So yeah, we're going to talk about some moon magic today. We're coming up on the full moon. When is it here? I have my little handy dandy chart, which you can also get on the website. I think they're like $2. The new moons are on one side and the full moons are on the other side. So we're in May, so the 18th is our full moon. So it's a full moon in Scorpio. So that's coming up. So I thought since the new moon was coming, the full moon was coming up, that we would talk a little bit about moon magic. This isn't a ritual. If anybody's interested in doing a ritual, I can go over what that would look like. But Athena, who the items that I sell are Sage Goddess, and Athena is the owner of that. And she does free new moon and full moon rituals every month. So I kind of felt that it wasn't really something I needed to go over, because if anybody was interested in it, they could just watch hers. But if somebody would like me to go over more, she does it with you, so she kind of is teaching you as she does it. If somebody would like more of just a step 1, step 2, step 3 kind of thing, you just let me know. Send me a comment or a private message, and I'll certainly do that if somebody's interested in that. So the moon is, and people will correct me, I'm sure. The way I wrote it is the moon is the closest planet, and scientifically, is the moon a planet? Is it classified a planet? I don't know. But it is the closest big round object in the sky to the Earth. And the moon actually moves us. It really does. So you know that it controls the tides, and our bodies are made up of mostly water. So it would be, makes perfect sense that the moon affects us as well. Its pull and our push. We know that it also has a lot to do with the women's menstrual cycles is the moon, depending on where you are on the planet. It affects that in different ways. And but it also is a little bit more than that if you want to go a little bit deeper. So it really kind of mirrors the cycles of our body, of our growth. So it's kind of also known, you know, if you're familiar with metaphysical stuff, you're going to be very familiar with the symbol of the three moons together. I don't have a picture of that, but I will get one and post it up there. The triple moon, but it's also very commonly known as the maiden, the mother, and the crone. That's, again, that cycle of life for us. The moon is reflecting back towards us. So there's a lot of energy around the new moon and the full moon, which we've talked about. We've talked about that during the new moon is when, you know, we want to be doing a lot of work, as well as the full moon is a good time if you have anything you want to be working with. I mean, I would never discourage anybody from doing any work at any time. If you've got 5 minutes to sit down and release something or manifest something or anything like that, and it's a Tuesday morning and it's not anywhere near the new moon or full moon, that's fine. You can certainly still do it. Anytime you can do the work is great. Just the new moon and the full moon have a lot more energies available to you to do that. As always, coming up on the full moon, it's a perfect time to charge any tools that you would have. So all my crystals and gemstones and everything are going to go to my bedroom, where my big window is, where the moon comes up. So those will all be there for the night and get charged. I will probably put my moon water there to be charged as well. If anybody doesn't know what moon water is, there is a video on that as well. Now I'm cold again. I'm phasing to my crone stage of life, and so the hot and cold is definitely a part of it, which is exactly why I wear t-shirts with a sweater, so that I can take the sweater on and off a million times every day. It's very frustrating, but I guess it's part of life. And if that's the worst thing that comes out of it, then I guess I didn't do too badly. Sorry, itchy nose. So it's very, the moon is very much our subconscious, so to speak. It's our emotional and like our non-rational part of us. So as well as when we talk about our natal chart, we talk about our moon sign. And so my moon sign is Capricorn. And so your moon sign, going back to this, is your moon sign is kind of that subconscious drive of yours. So mine being Capricorn, Capricorn is somebody who really wants to succeed and do well and move, be moving up in the ranks. And so that's my moon sign. And so that's one of those things, like, it's not something that I'm consciously really aware. I mean, I know now that that's my moon sign, and I know what the Capricorn is about. And so when that kind of comes out for me, I can kind of go, oh, that Capricorn's peeking his head out, and kind of keep control and tame that a little bit. But it's very much my, it just comes out. Like, it's not something that I think about. It's not something, like, I'm not constantly like, how can I get ahead? How can I do better? How can I succeed, kind of thing. But when things don't always go my way, like at work, we're very busy right now. And so I get very irritated when I feel like people are not pulling their weight or chipping in or doing what they're supposed to be doing, or that, and that's, again, it's that subconscious thing. And it's, like I said, I get irritated with coworkers and my boss and stuff, but it really is my issue to deal with. And so I try to remember that. And even though I may be irritated, to not take that out on them, because it's my issue, it's not their issue. But it's very much just like it just comes out. It's just like that you know, beast kind of thing. Not all moon signs are like that. You could have a very nice moon sign, loving moon sign. I just happen to have a moon sign that is very work driven and success driven. But it again, your moon sign is kind of your subconscious, your shadow side, your, I don't want to say uncontrolled side, because that's not really true. It can be controlled, but it takes some work. All right, so I just wanted to tell you real quick too, there's the Native American little part of it, which I thought was interesting, and I wanted to bring it because I know not everybody that watches this may necessarily be pagan or Wiccan. There may be other religions or nationalities. I don't know. I'm bad with words and I'm really tired, so I'm sorry. So the Native Americans viewed the moon as the grandmother. And so their kind of story goes that it connects us with our, feminine powers of intuition. And that's why during the new moon and the full moon, it's a good time to work with that. And so I find it a very good time to work with my intuitive side. Also connects us to our sensitivity that's in our bones. This is the Native American version of the connection with the moon. And it connects you with all of your ancestral knowledge that's in your blood. So that's there. Again, it's kind of like in the threes. So the power of your feminine intuition, the sensitivity in your bones, and the ancestral knowledge in your blood. So I just thought that was a little neat thing to share with you. And so the moon really does reflect sometimes not so nice stuff, but I think it's stuff that, if you want to, you can certainly work with these energies and, make yourself a better person, or a more enlightened person, or a more awakened person, because it's not always necessarily about being a better person. But I really think that if you are more enlightened and you are more awake, that you are going to be a better person. Not to say that the person you are now is not a good person. That's not what I'm saying. So again, as always, I have my little list of things here. I always like to give the little list of things with my little videos here. And last night when I was sitting here doing the video, getting ready for the video, and taking my notes and stuff, and like you can see, I got all these little things here. As I was going through them, I'm like, well, these are a lot of the ones I've already talked about at some point in some video. And so I almost decided, like halfway through preparing, that I was going to change and do something different, talk about something different. And then my intuitive side of me came out and said, no, you need to do this. And I think part of it was because, first of all, I do have a lot of new people coming in the last few weeks, which I'm so happy about. So welcome to all of you who are watching now or watching later, or watching on YouTube. Even though some of it is a recap of some of the things we've talked about before, I still wanted to go over them. The other thing that I thought was really important to mention is that whether we've been talking about manifesting, or whether we've been talking about raising your energy, or clearing negative energy, or whatever the topic that we've been being in clean relationships, like a lot of these things that I'm going to go over today have in some way been in one of those videos or been like a similar, I don't want to say activity because that's not really the right word, step, I don't know. Again, words, labels sometimes are hard for me. But it may have been in another video for another thing, but it just goes to show that some of these very simple things that we can do. So this list of stuff that I'm going to go over to help you connect more with the moon are also steps that are going to help you with being in clean relationship, are going to help you with manifesting, are going to help you with raising your vibration, with help you with getting rid of negative energies and stuff. So, you know, it just, to me, it's very important for you all to realize that, you know, when you're doing these things, you may be doing one of the things I told you for connecting to the moon, but it's also going to help you with other things at the same time. So even though you may be doing one step to help you connect to the moon, it very well be also a step that's going to be helping you manifest something, or that's going to be helping you be in a clean relationship, or one of those other things. So sometimes just doing some of these little simple things, like I said, if you can find 5 minutes in your day to do this, you might be like, okay, I'm going to sit down and do this for 5 minutes to help. Don't mind the dog over there. The 5 minutes I'm going to take to do this is going to help me connect to the moon. May also be helping me raise my vibration. It may be helping me manifest. So you may be doing multiple things at one time in that few minutes that you're going to set aside. So I just, even though we've gone over some of these things, I just felt that it was very important to come today. And even though I'm going to go over these steps with you, I think the big message for today is that these little things are very important things to do in your life, not only for just one aspect, but they may serve other purposes at the same time. So one of the first things, and again, like I know we've gone over probably all of these at some point in another video, but again, I always think you can never hear this stuff too many times. It's always good reminders. Even for me, it's a good reminder when I go back and read over these and read my notes and write my notes and stuff. It's a good reminder even for me to be like, yeah, I really need to make more time to do this. Like I said, right now my life is so crazy, hectic, busy, that I didn't even come live on Thursday because I was just, there's so much going on and I was so tired. And this morning I woke up again and I was like, so tired, and I almost was like, I'm just gonna stay in bed. I'm not gonna do the video. I'll do it later. And something, you know, just kicked me out of bed and said, no, you need to go do this. You know, you need to make this video. And you know, maybe only one person will watch it, and if that one person gets something out of this video, then it was worth it for me. I don't need 1,000 followers. I'd like 1,000 followers, but I don't need 1,000 followers. If I know, you know, that this video could help one person in some way, if they take one little thing away from this video, then, you know, it was worth it for me to get up out of bed and make this video for you. So number one is, you know, recognizing your feelings. That's obviously, my feet are falling asleep, sorry. My back is killing me. Complain today. But I do go for my shot in my spine. It's yucky, but tomorrow. And so it'll be much easier for me to be sitting on the floor after that. I need a little pillow seat cushion thing here for me. So recognizing your feelings. So really it is very powerful owning your own feelings. I struggled with that for a long time. One of the things I do struggle with is that anger that pops up. And, you know, again, it usually pops up when I feel like somebody's not doing something they're supposed to be doing, or I've been busting my ass and somebody thinks that I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing after I've just busted my ass for 9.5 hours. So my anger tends to come out with that stuff. But being aware of all of these things in my chart and kind of taking a step back and going, okay, this is my anger. This is my issue. I need to own it. And I need to take a minute and really find out where that anger is coming from. And yes, I can go back a million times and say, yeah, but she said this, but she said this, and she did that, and she told me, and all those things I could do and make it someone else's fault. But owning that anger and realizing it's my issue and realizing that I need to do something about it, because I feel, when the work is done for my anger issue, when somebody says something like that to me or does something like that that has always made me angry in the past, I'm going to be able to just move past it. And that'll be, so again, that's me. I have to own that. So whether it's sadness, anger, jealousy, resentment, whatever, the emotions are, own it. Once you do that and start to work with where the emotion is actually coming from, you can start to be more aware of how you are. And one of the things that it's so simple, but one of the things that I'm really trying to work with is how, I forgot my tea this morning, is how I can respond instead of react. So I want to be able to, in a situation, respond in a way that's helpful instead of react with my anger and, the angry faces. And I haven't mastered that yet. So owning your emotions is very, very powerful. And once you've done that, you will be able to, start to follow more of your intuitive side once you start to kind of control your emotional side. And you'll be able to be more confident in yourself. I don't want to say that you don't want to show your emotions or you don't want to feel your emotions, because that's not what I'm saying. We have been taught for some reason over the last few centuries that you don't show your emotions. Boys don't cry, suck it up and deal with it, all those things, are what we're taught, walk it off kind of stuff. We've been taught from childhood lately, and that we, emotions are just wash them away, just don't worry about it, it'll be fine. And I don't think that's true. I mean, I think it will be fine, but I think in life, if you own that emotion, take time to feel that emotion, sit with it for a little while and find out where it's coming from, and then I think it will help you move past it, and you'll be happier. So I hope I'm making sense. And for the empathics that are in the group or watching, this is extra important, because you're going to be feeling a lot of emotions that are not yours. So again, if you can find that time to just kind of sit with the emotion and discover whether or not it's really your emotion to sit with, and if it's not, then you need to work on letting that go. And again, I've done videos on that in the past on how to clear yourself, how to visualize, how to meditate. I have one that I want to talk about coming. I have it, I just need to fit it in the schedule here, is about making your protective bubble. So that is very, very important for an empath, but I think it's important for all of us. But we'll talk about that more later. But recognize what's yours and recognize what's not yours for the empaths out there, and work on letting that go and protecting yourself as well. Again, we've talked about that. You can use the black kyanite that we just talked about. You can use hematite, which I have a piece right here. I also wear my hematite bracelet right here. So you can protect yourself from the negative energies and the emotions that are coming in that are not yours. So I think that's very important. And I think out of all of these that I'm going to go over, that is really probably the most important, is really recognizing your emotions and owning them, or realizing that they're not yours and letting them go. Now, that's a little tricky because, again, I don't want that blame to go somewhere else. I don't want you to be like, I'm angry, but it's not mine, it's hers. And it's like, well, are you angry because she made you angry, or are you just picking up on her anger? There's a difference. Because if you're angry because of something she did, then it's your anger and you need to own it. If you're just sitting in a room with these people and you're getting angry for no reason, you may be picking up on someone else's anger, and that is not yours, and you can just let it go. So there's a difference. And I'm sure the empaths that are watching this are very aware of that already. But it's always a good reminder that if it's not yours, just let it go. Some of us, especially as healers or light workers, or whatever shaman, whatever you prefer to call yourself, we have a tendency to want to fix everybody and make everything better. And so sometimes it's hard to let those other emotions go, even though they're not ours, because we instinctively want to go fix that person or go help that person, and sometimes that's really not what we're meant to do. So again, being an empath is a very very hard gift. It's a good gift, but it's a very hard gift, and it really takes some work to manifest it. I think my son is an empath, and he's going to have a hard road ahead of him. He has had a hard road most of his life. And I really think as I learn more about this and read more about this, I think that maybe that is where some of it comes from, because he just feels everything so deeply that I think maybe he's got some empath in him. But anyway, moving on. Number 2, write things down. So we've talked about writing things down before. We've talked about writing things down for journaling after meditations or journeys. We've talked about writing things down for manifesting, writing things down for releasing. So writing things down is again, in many ways, very, very helpful. So for the emotional part that we're talking about right now, it's a good way. I know I'm fidgeting, but I'm just very uncomfortable. I'm sorry. It's very good to go back to number 1, which we were just talking about, is owning your feelings and going through the process. So a lot of times writing that down, whether you want to call it journaling or whatever you want to call it, it doesn't really matter. Write that down, and sometimes writing that down and putting it into words is going to help you work through that and find out where it's coming from, whether it's yours, whether it's not yours, if it is yours, how you're going to deal with it. So a lot of times just writing it down, and it makes you complete your thought process instead of like thinking about it and then being distracted and thinking about it and being distracted. If you just can sit down and try to write it all down, you'll realize the dog is snoring. You'll realize you may realize where those emotions are coming from and how you can work through them or let them go, or work through them and let them go would be great as well. So writing things down is very, very important. I am not a writer. I don't write things down. So I do mine a little differently. I talk to myself. Yes, I'm the crazy lady who talks to herself. If you see me in my car, I am probably having a full-blown conversation with myself. And it is because I am working through something. Something made me mad, something happened, something disappointed me, whatever it is, and I will talk to myself about the whole process and kind of like vent, de-stress, whatever you want to call it. But instead of writing it all down, I speak it out loud, and a lot of times that helps me realize where it's actually coming from, and usually it comes back to that it's mine and I need to own it. So yeah. So number 3 is just say no to the distractions. Again, like, because if you're not going to write it down and you're not going to have a full-blown conversation with yourself, maybe you're going to meditate on it, or just spend some time sitting with it, whatever you prefer to call it is perfectly fine. But eliminate the distractions if you can. If you are, if you're trying to work through something, you're trying to understand something, it would be a really good time to find some time by yourself. This always comes back to spend a day by yourself. I think that's almost impossible to do nowadays, is to spend a day by yourself. That's crazy. But you want to eliminate the distractions, which is one of the reasons I do my videos so early in the morning, is because I cannot do my videos when my husband's home. I love him to death, but it's very distracting for me. It's not his issue, it's my issue, but it's very distracting for me. Like the dog right now is being very distractive to me with her snoring over there. And so it's very hard for me to stay focused anyway, because I tend to get off on other subjects and topics and kind of go over here, and I have to remember to come back to here. So I need to do those when there is the least amount of distraction for me that there is. And it's the same for, if you're meditating or journaling, writing things down, whatever you want to call it, or whatever it is you're doing. We need to try to find either time or a place. If you have a house that has an extra room, you may want to make that either a meditation room or a writing room or a combination room or something, but something where, if you've got a husband and kids and pets and, I don't have the kids, my kids are gone now, but if you have a household which is very hectic and has a lot going on in it, try to find a space where you can go, that you can kind of, like, okay, mom's going in my special room, whatever you want to call the room, and I need like 20 minutes, just please, unless someone's dying, don't come to get me. A lot of people in the groups that I'm in, live in cities and don't have big houses and things, and I've seen some beautiful spaces made in a closet. They open the closet, everything's set up there for them. They just sit in front of the closet, or maybe the closet's a little bit big enough that they can sit in the closet, and do their meditations or their journaling and stuff. But if you want to do the work, you will find a way to make it happen. Like I had a special table made to set up my stuff, which I love. I'm so thankful for my table. But if you want to do this, you'll find a way. You don't need a whole room, so you can't be like, I don't have a room, I can't do that. I don't have a room either, but I made a little space in my living room that is for my stuff and for my all my tools and my crafting and my video stuff. But again, you can make a space to go to if you can't make time out of your day. You can't make your kids disappear for 20 minutes. I can't make my dog disappear for 20 minutes. But I know that in the morning, my husband leaves for work and I have this time. So this is a good time for me to do my videos. My husband goes to bed very early because he gets up very early. And so a lot of times that is at 9, 10 o'clock is when I'm doing my meditations and my classes and things like that, because it's a good time for me to have less distractions. So there's always a way. Sometimes it may take a while to figure it out. And again, I'm here. If you have a question or you're not sure where to start, comment on here or send me a private message. I'm willing to help in however I can help. So just remember that. Going to go through the next two. They're equally important, but again, I think that the number one, the first thing I went over with owning your feelings, is really a very important part of it. Because if you can't own your feelings, then none of the rest of this stuff really kind of makes any sense or makes any difference if you do it. So again, I said, limit your distractions. And again, that was kind of basically to find time for yourself, whether it's a time or a place. Find some time for yourself where nobody needs you to get anything. Nobody needs you to do anything. You can just have that time to do the work that you're doing. Again, whether it's working through your emotions, or if it's manifesting, or if it's meditating, or if it's working on clean relationships, whatever it is. Like I said, all of these kind of come back to the same thing of, writing things down, spending time, limit your distractions. So they all kind of come back to the same thing. And like I said, I almost didn't do this video because I'm like, they've already heard this before. But I felt that I needed to come today and tell you that when you're doing one aspect of this, you may be doing multiple aspects. And I wanted you really to understand that, that you could be actually, when you're writing down in your journal or whatever it is, your book, whatever you want to call it, for working through your feelings, you may also be working towards releasing something, and you may be working towards being in a clean relationship, all by working on one other thing. And I just really felt like that was like really important that needed to be talked about today. So the next one is, it sounds really simple, but it is really hard for a lot of us, is love yourself. So again, we've talked about this, just tell yourself every day that you are amazing, that you are awesome, that you did a good job, that you're beautiful, whatever, all the things, stand in front of your mirror and actually look at yourself and tell yourself that you're awesome, that you're beautiful, that you are love, that you are a powerful being, whatever it is, all the things. It goes back to, a lot of different people that I know will surround their mirror with little post-it sticky notes that say, you are happiness, you are joy, you are love, you are powerful, whatever, it is. And, so they see that every morning when they're, and they're brushing their teeth. But I really think it's important not just to see them, but to actually speak them out loud. I saw in another group that I was in, one lady made a video of herself telling herself how amazing she was, like all the things. She went on for like 5 minutes of, you are beautiful, you are amazing, you are love, you are powerful. You are appreciated, you are needed, you are part of something bigger. Like she went on, like she had this whole thing that she did for like 5 minutes and she recorded it all. And then she listens back to it. So that's another thing you could do. It's really neat to see how different people can take something and make it work for them. So again, there's always a way to make these things work. If you don't want sticky notes all over your mirror, because I don't, my OCD would kick in on that. My OCD, whatever it is, my compulsiveness. I'm sorry, again, I'm tired and I got kind of a brain fog. So if that doesn't work for you, there's always another way. Set up a thing on your phone, like an alarm, or on your calendar that's gonna like pop up every day that just says, you're awesome. Something just to remind yourself every day that you are here for a reason, and that you're a part of something, and that you're powerful and you're important and you are loved and you are love, and all those wonderful things, because again, it's gonna bring you a lot of happiness, and that's kind of what we all want, right? Is happiness and joy in life. None of us want to be sad and miserable, I don't think. The last thing is accepting your feelings, again, which is kind of like the same thing is owning your feelings. But once you've owned them and said, yeah, that's mine, now what are you going to do with it? Now that yeah, that's mine, now what am I going to do with it? Again, because I think just owning it is great. It's a big step, because like I said, without owning it, none of these other things that I talked about are really going to be very helpful for you in some of these aspects. But once you've owned it, now what are you going to do with it? And you're like, yep, that's my anger, and then just move on. And then the next time you get angry again, you're like, yep, that's my anger. It's like, okay, well, that's great, I've owned it, but am I going to do anything with it? Am I going to work with it? Am I going to try to resolve it? Am I going to try to work through it? Because I tell you right now, I have found for myself, and I think I know a lot of other people in my groups that would definitely agree, is if you don't work through these things, they're gonna manifest themselves in some other way. You're gonna like for me, I struggle with my throat chakra, and I have had problems with my esophagus. I've had problems with my thyroid. Probably can't see it too much, but I have a big scar right here where I had a huge lump taken out of my neck. And because I wasn't speaking my truth, I wasn't being true to myself, I wasn't, working with that energy. And so it was manifesting for me. I mean, I didn't necessarily know at the time that that's what was going on, but now that I go back and I'm doing the work, and I realize that I have an issue with my throat chakra, and that I need to work with that. And that's part of why I do videos, is to work with that throat chakra. But yeah, I have all kinds of esophageal problems. I have, like I said, I have a huge scar right here, which thankfully the surgeon put the scar in the natural line, like, of my neck, so it's not quite so noticeable. And she did a great job with it, so really thankful for that. But yeah, I had a huge lump on the side of my neck that they took out. And I do have two lumps on my thyroid that I have to go in every year and have checked to make sure that they're not getting bigger. And so thankfully I've been doing my throat chakra work, and the last time I went to the doctors to have that checked, the two lumps have got bigger, but by like so much you can't even, there's like, the measurement for it was ridiculous. It was like 0.00000 something, that it had got bigger. So like, yeah, it got bigger, but it was like, to the naked eye, you couldn't tell that it got bigger. So I'm very thankful for that. And I do kind of chalk that up to doing the work and realizing that I had a blockage in my throat chakra that I need to work through. I'm not done working through it. I still have a lot to work through with it, and so it's very hard for me. But it is something that I am working on, and I want to work on, and I want to be better, and not just for my health, which is very important, but as a light healer, I need to work through these things for myself to feel like I'm really helping other people. And I think I'm kind of doing it simultaneously. I can't say things today. That as I'm working through these and as I'm learning and I'm teaching you all together. So it's kind of a nice flow of how things are going for me and to bring them to you. But yeah, anger and sadness and anxiety are really going to end up being some sort of physical illness for you. I'm a strong believer that, if you're somebody that has some sort of issue, whether you're having headaches, you may be having a third eye kind of a situation blockage. If you're somebody who has heartburn all the time, there's probably something going on there, or chest issues, it's related to that heart chakra. Again, if you're having a lot of digestive problems, it's probably a lower chakra. And even you can go, if you're having some fertility issues, or cancer issues in different pot, it's related to the chakra that it's in. And so that's a good way to, if you're somebody who is having an issue in a part of the body, relate that to a chakra for you, and sit and work with that, and own that, and journal about it, write about it, meditate on it, whatever it is, and you might find some healing emotionally and physically for yourself. So yeah, that's pretty much it for today, because I do have to go to work. I'm going to be late. I got 10 minutes to do a 15-minute drive, so I'm going to be late, but that's okay. Not really, but it is what it is. So I have to go. So have a great day. Lots of love to everybody. Remember to be kind to others and to yourself. Your kindness could change your day and someone else's day. So thanks for popping on. Lots of love. Have an awesome day.